Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Carl. I am your host, Carl Zellner, one of the attorneys here of Anderson Business Advisors. Today, I want to talk about when is a land trust right for you. So when I talk to clients or clients I meet with about land trust, what I like to discuss with them is it is not necessarily the end-all be-all of your structure. It's not appropriate in every situation, but it is a real handy tool to have in your toolbox when it comes to investing. So we start talking about land trust. A couple of things that we want to look at are, do you have a location in which you're investing where a land trust would benefit you? Is there some sort of cumbersome transfer tax or some other reason to use one? Really, the sort of broadest appeal with the land trust is using a nominee trustee to get an additional layer of anonymity. Now, you notice I said anonymity, not asset protection. Land trusts are in the same family as your living trust, same family as personal property trust. Those types of grantor trusts do not provide asset protection. So it's the reason we link the beneficial interest of those land trusts to LLCs so that they then have the protection of an LLC. So it's a part and parcel, right? So if I'm using a land trust for investing, it's usually for that layer of anonymity or for a reason to be able to step around or use an exemption that's out there for transfer tax. Other than that, there's, it sort of becomes a one-off scenario, right? Did I move a property that, by the way, this is incredibly rare. Did I move a property into an LLC and for some reason my lender's unhappy about it? Okay. If that happens, usually you get a letter saying you need to put it back in your personal name. Not a big deal, but you do that. And then a lot of times, if you wait a little bit and then put it into a land trust, that same issue doesn't arise. So it's another way. Technically, we can talk about that as some sort of due on sale issue. To me, though, it's much more simple and not quite as that high stakes. It's more of just, hey, we noticed you moved this. You're not supposed to move this. Okay, I'll put it back. And then later, if you move it to a trust instead of directly to a business entity, a lot of time that relieves that type of pressure, if it even pops up. So that's why I say it's reasonable to use a land trust in certain situations. It's a great tool to have in your toolbox, as well as if you are someone who really puts a heavy focus on anonymity, or just quite frankly don't want people to know that your name is associated with your personal residence, could use your land trust there. So a lot of times for our online events, we will bonus a land trust, and some people kind of struggle to say, well, where do I need one? Technically, you can always use one on your personal residence. Putting in a land trust isn't going to affect things like your homestead exemption, any items like that, but you can achieve an additional level of anonymity, which is awesome. So just something to consider there. Like I said, if you are going to use a land trust for our clients, you should always consider and always reach out when you're going to do something with the property, just because there can be some pieces of it, like say if you want to refinance a property, you should either do that before you put it in the land trust, or at least expect you'll have to take the property out of the land trust. It's not a big deal. However, it does happen, and lenders tend to like to have you refi outside of the land trust because most of them have trouble selling that mortgage on the secondary market. So just as an FYI, like I said, cool tool to have in your toolbox. Is it appropriate for every single situation? No. If you have one you're trying to use, you could certainly use it on your personal residence. It's a great place to start. So until next time, thank you everybody for joining me again. As always, take advantage of all the free content out there. And if you haven't yet joined us for one of our online events, please do. If you're already a platinum client, I would say start hitting up the structure implementation class. It's level 2. If you're not yet a client or considering becoming a client, check out our tax and asset protection class, where Clint, Toby, and Michael will jam a ton of information into a one-day class you can enjoy from the comfort of your own home. So until next time, thanks for joining me, everybody, and we will catch you on the next episode.